Hi guys, welcome to Investing with JYK, and today we'll talk about what the best way is to hold gold. So gold is non-producing, right? It's a non-producing asset. It will never make new gold out of existing gold, and doesn't pay dividend, doesn't give you cash. Essentially, all you're betting on is someone will pay more for the gold, and you're paying for the faith in gold, really. So whether to buy it or not, whether to hold it or whatnot, it's up to you. I'm not going to make an argument here. But assuming that you want to hold gold, then there are a couple ways of doing it. One is you could buy gold ETF, or you could buy gold future, or you could buy physical gold. So I'm not going to discuss the future part because most people don't have exposure to that. The easiest way to access gold is through SPDR Gold Share. It's GLD. It's an ETF. You can just buy it like any stock. This thing is very liquid, very low bid to ask spread. So So basically, you don't pay much premium to buy, and you don't give much discount to sell. So that's all good things that we want for an investment vehicle. You want easier liquidation, and that's why this is actually a really good vehicle to trade gold. The problem is there is a 0.4% annual fee. They call it expense ratio, but it's an annual fee, whatever. So imagine you buy 1 ounce of gold. At this point, it's this price, right? Multiply by 0.04. So you basically pay $5 every year for each ounce of gold that you hold in SPDR. The alternative is you could buy physical gold. So here comes the trusty eBay. Let's see, where's my eBay coins? Here are some bullions, gold bullions. All right, let's find one that's 1 ounce. That's somewhat cheap. You have one here that's 5 ounces. That's quite a lot, but also this is they do accept PayPal. Okay. So this is actually probably not too bad. 6548.5 divided by 5. So $1309 per ounce. And the gold price at the moment is 1292.93.29. So there are 1293.29. You're paying 1.2% extra to get your gold. So that's an option. And then you have some other stuff. Let's see if I can find one that is. Let's see. Okay, let's just search for 1 ounce gold. You could go gold bar or gold coin. Typically, personally, I prefer gold coins because it's easier to verify whether it's a real coin. I'll talk about that later. But let's just do 1 ounce gold, right? So you can see for 1 ounce you can pay around 1307. So that's about $15 more than spot. And I would say stick with the 1 ounce. If you buy like smaller than 1 ounce, you pay a huge premium. And you can see some of those are clearly not worth buying. These are, close to like $90 more, like more than $90 more than spot. So you want it to be as close to, provided you just want to hold gold, right? You want it to be as close to spot as possible. So maybe 1,290, more than that. You search for it and buy now and do lowest. Here, this is a really bad one. For example, you can see this one. They're charging $1,300 for half an ounce. Well, they're buying this for like collection purposes. So it's based on your gold. So in this case, this is the cheapest one, and then you also found the 5-ounce gold that averages out to fairly cheap. Or you can buy this, which is $20 more than the actual gold. So now let's think about what is the premium worth the storage fee. Essentially, you're paying storage fee. So 1317.76. Say we get the coin, right? But if you get just a normal credit card, you can get 2% cashback, right? So like Citi Double Cash, and you use that to buy that on eBay, and you actually only pay $12.91, so which is slightly lower than spot. So that's nice. You can get it at cheaper than spot. Now the only problem later is when you have to liquidate it, you have to find a coin shop and you have to give them a discount. So maybe you have to discount another, I don't know, maybe $10, $15. So, but if you were able to get this Perth Mint one, you would be looking at 07 times 98. So you're only paying $12 less, $13 less than spot, right? So that if you sell it immediately at that price, so giving the coin shop a $15 discount, you will be able to liquidate with no loss. So that is why I think if you want to hold gold, small amounts. If you want to hold a large amount of gold, then you probably can't buy it and put it at home. It's very dangerous. People will steal. For these, you can buy them at on eBay, and then you find them one of those more reputable sellers. So SD Bullion is one, and this one, Texas Gold Silver or something. This one is actually also fairly reputable. And there's another one, APMEX, Liberty Coin, U.S. State Gold Bureau. This is just a stupid name. They're not, as far as I know, they're not a government agency. I don't know about this Pioneer Metals. I would be suspicious about buying this. This Pinehurst Coins is fairly established. Bullion Exchange is quite established. So, buy from these established sellers, and you should get real gold. And the other nice thing about gold coins compared to bars is that bars are typically sealed in these thing, and they can potentially fake it. They can put tungsten in it and coat it with gold, and unless you break the bar up, you wouldn't know whether you got a real thing. And you also have to take it out of the packaging. And if you do take it out of packaging, and when you try to turn around and try to sell it, they might even give you a less price. Now, if you get a coin, the nice thing is there is a I will link a video to it. There are some apps on the phone that lets you detect whether the coin's resonance frequencies are that match the real coin. So depending on the shape and the material of each coin, they have their own characteristic sound. And if you just hit it with, it's almost like a sound fork. If you hit it, they produce those frequencies, exactly those frequencies. And if you have a phone, and then we have these essentially fingerprints in stored, you can then match them to say, oh, is it a real coin? It's very difficult to counterfeit, especially the frequency, because if you put, the most common thing is you put tungsten in it, right? But tungsten is a very brittle, very hard metal. Gold is a very soft, very malleable metal. When you hit them, they sound extremely different. So I'm gonna just demonstrate. This is a random coin, right? And then if you hit it, they will sound a particular way, right? So very dull sounding. Whoops. It's quite dull sounding. But if you hit a copper coin, so obviously these are not like, I'll post one with a gold coin, but this one is just a copper coin. It sounds different. The sound depends on the material and the shape. So even copper coins will have sound differently depending on how the impurities and stuff in that. So like buffaloes and maple leaves, these are 24 karat, so 99.99% pure gold. They have a particular characteristics, and then you can get stuff like Krugerrand. Do we have a Krugerrand over here? Yeah, Krugerrand is 22 karat, but they just put the coin is actually heavier, so the total gold content is the same, but it's 22 or something karat, and that is harder, much harder than the normal 24 ounce. And then if you get American Eagle, they will sound a particular way. So these are very, so this makes it very useful. If you are buying coins, you can then detect whether these are real gold without buying expensive like X-ray machines and stuff, and you don't have to melt them down, simply because it's very difficult to replicate that sound. Okay, so basically, to recap, basically, if you want to hold gold, I don't recommend buying GLD. Some people don't buy it because of like the distrust on the financial system, and saying maybe they don't actually hold the gold they say they held. For me, even if you have faith, I would say, it's a $5 per ounce storage fee you're paying. You probably could get that slightly cheaper. Say, if you had a bank deposit, safe deposit box, you can put your gold there. If you have a house, you can put gold in some random ass place, and the people just wouldn't know. Right, some random place in your house that nobody knows, and gold is small enough. 1 kilo of gold is only this big and this thick. You can put it almost anywhere. Right? So unless you have tons of gold, in which case you want to store them in some safe vault, in which case you should not be watching my videos. You should get yourself a institutional advisor. But if you just have maybe $10,000 worth or less, it's very small. The gold is extremely dense. You put them somewhere in your house, and even if a thief comes, it's very difficult for them to find anything. But on the other hand, the risk is, if your house burns down, the gold will still be there. If your house gets engulfed by mudslide, then you have problems. If your house disappears because of earthquake, and then fell in a crack, yeah, okay, then you have problems too. But those are my thoughts. If you hold it for anything longer than a year or two, I recommend controlling your cost by buying through eBay. They have, surprisingly, they're the place where I can find the cheapest one. Yeah, and I also post a video on how a gold coin sounds versus some random other coins, hopefully. All right, see you next time.